Hi, we're going to learn all about protection crystals today.
Protection. Welcome to Liberate University.
Welcome to another episode of Liberate University. Today, it's Crystal Chat, talking about all of these wonderful gemstones and crystals that grow in the earth, but the focus on the metaphysical properties of how these beauties can help towards protecting you both on an energetical level and even on an EMF level. So I'm excited for us to chat about this stuff. Jerome, aren't you?
Absolutely, Christina. Let's get to it.
All right, because we're your rock people.
All right.
So what do you want to start with? What's a little bit about like some crystals and why they're good for protection? And then maybe we can get into some of the specifics.
Sure. Well, there is a little bit of a misnomer that all darker crystals are going to be protective. And while it does trend in that direction, it's not entirely always true every time. Because we got a purple one here. Absolutely.
We got some colors over here.
We have a mookaite, we have tiger eye here. As you can see, a lot of them are going to be a little bit darker in color, but that doesn't mean that whenever they look like that, that's exactly what it is that they do. So let's look at some of these others that are in front of us right now. So this one, pretty popular. It's called tiger eye. I'll hold this one up. This is a really, really interesting stone. You might see this or possibly even another that looks somewhat similar. It's called tiger iron. It's pretty much the same thing. It just has a higher iron content to it, which means it has a little bit more magnetic draw. This particular stone is great for grounding. It's really good for protection as well. However, it's also really good at being able to help dissuade negative criticism, specifically when it's coming from the self.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's a really great stone to kind of have around, especially if you know that you might be somebody who deals with a little bit of, negative mind talk, and we've all been there, some of us more than others.
Which that kind of reminds me of another colored protection stone that I kind of think does virtually similar things, but instead of persuading you from the things, I have this one. And then we can bounce around. But since this is kind of along the same topic line.
Yeah.
So this is fluorite. Now, fluorite comes in green, purple, and blue. But fluorite, how it forms and how it's used as far as protection is it's the negativity vacuum cleaner. I often say that when a lot of people feel that they have they're going through a psychic attack, or they're being, they're feeling the negativity and the energy that they claim that's coming from others. More often than not, everybody, it's actually coming from yourself, and it's your own negative thought forms that are getting lodged in your aura, and you're perceiving it as a psychic attack, but it's you psychically attacking yourself. So these two right here, or like any form of fluoride, you can pick up a pocket stone, it absorbs, I call it that negativity vacuum cleaner, or like Furby, and it sucks up all of the negative energy.
The Kirby. The Kirby,
yeah.
I was like the little dolls. I was like,
no, the little pink one. It was a video game back in the 90s, and it was like, and it would eat everything. It was really cute. Anyways, so we'll have to put a picture of Kirby on there, but this is Kirby. When you think of Kirby, not that you ever think of it, think of negativity, emotions of yourself being absorbed, and that's how it protects you. It protects you from your own self. So what else do we have?
So we have...
I hope he's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. That's a good thing about stones is that they are the ground. They go there. They're just kind of like hanging out with their buddies. So what we have here is Smoky Quartz. We have a couple different pieces here. I love this stone so much. We've talked a little bit in some of our other videos about the different types of quartz, the different things in the quartz family. This is one of them, Smoky Quartz, very closely connected to its cousin, amethyst, which is also in the quartz family. There's just a different mineral that washes into the clear quartz vein. One of them is going to turn it purple. The other one's going to make it a little bit more smoky in color. Now, this particular stone, its attributes are known for being fairly protective as well, but it's also really good at being able to dispel negative energy. A lot like you were saying with the fluorite, although that may the fluorite may focus on that a little bit more so. This probably actually has a couple of more things that it does. But again, when we're talking about protective stones, especially ones that you want to know, oh, I need to get that one. I don't know if they'll have it in stock. These are pretty much always in stock. They're very readily available and excellent sources for protection.
Yeah, one of the top ones.
Absolutely.
One of the other, since you were just talking about his cousin over here.
Right.
Another colored stone. Now, it's interesting when you're talking in general about protection or prosperity or some of these other gemstone classes that we'll do, is that the energy vibrations of the stones interact with you in a different way, and that gives the effect of protection. Okay. And so just like my fluorite with sucking up your negative emotions and protecting you, this amethyst, what it does is it opens your crown and it lets a lot more divine energy in. And in a way, it's raising your frequency. And when you raise your frequency, you are less affected by the lower vibrations. Okay. So think, raise your vibration, protect you by bringing in the divine. Okay. What else do we got?
Like that. Really like that. This is one of my favorites. I'm going to create a little space over here, put this back over here, but I would love to show you.
Oh, can I have one of those too?
Yes.
These are, yes, I'll let you go first, but I'll tell you what I have a nickname for these too.
These, some of my favorite, these are called numite. Potato, some people call it nummite. But this particular stone, okay, this is the oldest mineral on the planet. It was created. What we have on the planet, it's been here. It's not being recreated. It's still here. This was created 3 billion years ago. Billion with a B, not million with an M. 3 billion years ago is when these were created. This is numite or nummite, an amazing stone, quite protective as a matter of fact. Also really helps out a lot with synchronicity. And when we start to find things starting to come together and we're not quite sure entirely of how it needs to, what role it needs to take place, what order it might need to happen in, like, these are great stones for helping us get out of our own way and to start see it in the order that is going to be most beneficial. Excellent stone.
And I'm going to add to that, since I have a little nickname for these ones here. I call these the boomerang or the return to sender stone. Now, what do I exactly mean by that? This little puppy is an excellent, not only does it put things into alignment, okay, so one of the aspects like Jerome is saying is, it puts you into synchronicity. Also things that are a little bit out of order with karmic law, or when people put negativity towards you, there's a law of karma that says that what you give, so shall you receive. And almost like, if you cast negative onto somebody, it's going to hit you back tenfold. Well, this stone helps to kind of balance that karma and align you, right, with the synchronicity. So this is going to return to sender back. If there's anybody that you're feeling has a little bit of a slingshot out for you, it's just going to go backwards and it's going to hit them. Now, don't feel bad about it. Remember, they're the ones casting it in the first place, so you don't have to take any karmic responsibility for you putting a shield up that's reflecting it back to them. But in a way, think about that. Boomerang, return to sender.
Lovely. Great. All right. What next? What are we looking at?
Well, this one's kind of cool. Then this one's pretty sure.
Oh, yes.
So this one's become very popular in the recent years. This is shungite. This is it in the polished form. It's a really light density stone. It's not quite as light as jet, but it's very chalky. If you write with it, you can actually, some of the powder will come off of it. But this stone right here has actually been proven scientifically that it actually lowers EMFs. So what is EMFs? Electromagnetic frequencies. And so these are the things that are coming off of your computer, the internet modems, Wi-Fi, cell towers, all of this stuff. And so we're being blasted blasted. And now that 5G is coming into the frequency, and 5G is like microwave waves. And so we're constantly being blasted with this. Now, there's actually devices that you can buy that measure the EMFs in the air or in the area, and it reads it, like how much is there. And if you put this on a modem, it lowers it in the same spot. Same with a cell phone. You can have your cell phone over here, measure the EMFs coming off of it, set your cell phone on this, and it actually lowers the rate. So this is really cool because scientifically with that machine, you can actually measure how this has an effect over things. And so a lot of people, there's pieces of this that are made with little stickies that you can put on the back of your cell phone.
Right.
A lot of people like to put a piece, like I said, on a modem or something in your home or your office. But that's a good protection stone, not necessarily on the energetic protection as far as emotion, psychic attacks, and that kind of stuff, but on microwave waves and EMFs and other types of frequencies that are bombarding our energetic field. This is your stone.
And also a real world application for that particular stone of shungite is that if you have a water filter at home, pretty much of any type, let's just say the cartridge that you have, we won't call out one particular company, but if you were to open it up, or if you've ever dropped one and you've seen the inside of it, you'll see that there's kind of a lot of like ground black, almost powdery stuff. It's actually ground shungite that is a element of that. Shungite is so good at being able to filter out different things. We use that functionally inside of our water filtration systems to this day.
Interesting. See, filtering out the negative EMFs and filtering out the impurities in water. So,
Indeed.
Okay, what else do we got here?
Well, I have, let's see, let's go with selenite.
Ah, okay.
I love this piece. Okay. So selenite, it's one that is pretty common. You may have seen this before. Occasionally, to the untrained eye, it may look a little bit like clear quartz. It is different, though. One of the things that makes it very identifiable are these lines that you see here, okay? And if you can kind of look at the definition of it, you'll see that they're pretty fine. And if you move it around, you can definitely see them there. This particular stone, I like to call the soap of the gem world. Okay, the reason why is you never have to cleanse or charge this particular stone. It is always ready to go. It's a lot like if you have a bar of soap, okay?
I think there's a soap one over there.
Is
soap
there?
size.
Oh, yeah, this was supposed to, yeah, good call. Let's look at this one here.
And let me see this one. No, let me see this one.
Yeah.
I want to show what I can do with this too.
So this is essentially, if you have a bar of soap, nobody bothers to wash their soap with other soap, right? So fact of the matter is that this is able to charge any other stone that it's with. It's able to energetically cleanse any other stone that it is with as well. So this is a nice staple to have. It's something you definitely want in your collection if you are starting to look at having different gemstones, different minerals around the house, because you want to make sure that they are charged up. It's like having a battery pack. You just put them around them or on it and leave it there overnight or for several hours. It'll be right as rain as soon as you pick it up.
And good for continuously, kind of like the fluorite, to continue to clear and purify, right? Clearing and purifying, removing things is a form of protection, which gets me into these. When you get ones that look like this, that look like little weapons, I call them little selenite knives. Okay, so you can go and you can literally cut. Okay, so we get energetic cords to people. Okay, and some of those cords can be extremely draining. And so you can clear your aura or your energy by literally just imagining any negative cords in my body, any negative cords going to or from other people, and then just go like this: cut, 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 cut. See, you can get the back really nice. Cut, 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 the sides, underneath the armpits. You can just like kind of cut all of those cords.
Nice.
So, selenite knife. It's a must-have. All right. Let's see, we just have just a couple more protection stones for the day. And there's not that there's not more of them. This is just some of the ones that are pretty common. And we wanted to show you a little bit of diversity to say, hey, they're not always just the black stone. There's a variety and there's different purposes that just because you grab one protection stone, it's not going to do the exact same thing for you as a different one, which, I think you want to do black tourmaline.
Yeah,
we'll
sure, let's go with that.
off with I think that we're then pretty much almost done besides the jet. Okay, so black tourmaline. Black tourmaline, now tourmaline comes in so many different colors. So this is a really cool stone because the different colors that you find, much of the same way like the quartz family, they have different energetic properties. So black tourmaline is probably the pretty most common tourmaline, followed by green and pink. And green and pink are going to be more in the love section. So when you tune in for our love episode, you'll learn more about them. There's also blue tourmaline and orange tourmaline, but we won't get into all that. The black tourmaline is specifically known for protection and probably one of the most common protection stones when people want protection. Now, it's important to understand what this does, okay? Because I've tested with energy. So there's these little kind of cool things that are called pendulums. Now, pendulums, these are black tourmaline pendulums. Pendulums are really cool for checking different things. If somebody's laying down, you can see how open or closed their chakra system are. But kind of a cousin for divination is dowsing rods. Now, I didn't believe this until I started working with it, but black tourmaline, how does it protect you? It's kind of like it shrink wraps your aura. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay. So, it brings in the energy because most people's aura is out a few feet in them. So what they happen to notice that why a lot of people are drawn to it is they might be oversensitive. Maybe you're an empath. Maybe you're picking up on everybody's energy, or when you go into public places, you're constantly absorbing because your aura is in other people's aura and you can't handle or decipher between it. So one way of protecting you from other people's energies is it goes and shrink wraps. Now, it's important to note because this little one mixed with like some heart openers is probably, it just cancels each other out because one expands your aura and one contracts your aura. So it's interesting. So when you take the dowsing rods, and we'll show you one day, but you can take the dowsing rods and you can have somebody, you can have somebody, you can test like the heart chakra and say, how big is it or how big is the aura? And the things will go open. And then you can say, okay, hand them a piece of black tourmaline and you'll see the aura go, whoop. And it's really interesting. You can hold a piece of rose quartz and the aura goes, whoop. And so I like to say, the reason why there's different ones is use the different ones that work for it. Now, you don't have to take my word for it, but I did do some testing and do some energetic scanning on it. And it does seem like that what tourmaline does is shrink wrap your aura, make you less sensitive, make you less impacted by your environment and other people's energies. Very, very, very good stone for empaths.
It is. And I think sometimes because I've noticed a lot of jewelry being made out of these, which from my work with them, I think they're great, and I think that they absolutely have a purpose, but so do Band-Aids.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is you don't always need a Band-Aid, even when it's available. And this particular stone, while I believe it to literally be, I guess arguably, the most protective stone out there, at the same time, I don't know if it's one that always needs to be used. It's kind of like if
that's
you
what I'm saying,
have crutches and you don't have a broken leg or hurt leg anymore, it might not be to your benefit to use the crutches.
Well, yeah, because I mean, let's say you're going out and you're trying to open your energy field up, and maybe you want to attract new relationships or love,
or a new
or
job, or a raise,
and so you want your energy to be a little bit more vibrant. Okay, so all of this, everything has its place, and everything has its place when it doesn't get used.
Absolutely.
So what about obsidian? Because obsidian is probably the second most popular protection stone. They border with each other. When people come in for protection stones to the shops, the first two stones that are often mentioned are black tourmaline or obsidian.
Absolutely. Okay, so definitely a lot of different types of obsidian. This particular piece here, this is actually known as Snowflake Obsidian. Now, this is really good. Again, it is a protective stone by nature. It is also really good with being able to shift and change say, I guess what may be called wrong thinking, or when we kind of just down talk ourselves a lot. This is really good at being able to dissuade those negative thoughts as well.
Nice.
Yeah, which is always helpful, just in case to have around. The interesting thing about the different families is that they all tend to have the same properties as their base form. So say citrine and amethyst are all going to have the same properties of clear quartz, but also a little bit more. So this is Snowflake Obsidian. So it's going to have the same properties as regular black obsidian, but a little bit more, okay? And so black obsidian is kind of considered to be more of just sort of a shielding stone, which is maybe a little bit different from a protective aspect. But
that's what I look at it as. That's my biggest way that I decipher is I say it's kind of like it's putting a shield around you. So this is shrink wrapping in, and that's putting a shield around. Yeah. It's like, kind of like your walking little force field.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and there are just a ton of different ones. And sometimes to really get a good sense of it, or to see a good specimen of it, go into a shop and take a look at it. This is Snowflake Obsidian. There is mahogany obsidian, which is a very beautiful brown, also mixed with black. There is this one here, which I'm not sure how it's going to show up in the light, but this is rainbow obsidian. And this one kind of, when you look at it at the right angle, you actually see bit of a rainbow flash and coloration kind of go over the face of it too, which is really pretty nice. There's silver sheen obsidian. There is gold sheen obsidian. I mean, there's so many of them, aren't there?
Yeah, there's so many, and they're all so beautiful, and they all have a nice protective property to it.
Absolutely.
So let's see, what else do we have here? I think with these last three, we can probably group together to kind of just wrap up for you, because I think that they all pretty much did the same thing. We have some grounding stones that when you ground, you really kind of protect yourself, okay? So those grounding stones connecting you to the earth, bringing you back to that frequency. It's almost like the opposite of amethyst. Is amethyst connecting you to the divine frequency, and these grounding stones are connecting you to the earth energy, both of which are bringing in a higher vibration for you and making you a little bit more powerful. So just a couple other ones, right? So we have jet here, super light,
Absolutely. It's actually made of, it's petrified plant material. And so if you think about that, plant material is basically light, much lighter than stones. When it becomes petrified, there's a lot more air in there. And so it doesn't have the density of other stones.
You think that it's heavy, but it's super light. But so think of that, plant matter, earth, mama bear here. Then you have garnet. And garnet is really about your root chakra, connecting you there. Mm-hmm. And then this right here is so many different forms of jasper will give you a little bit of a protective things, from red jasper. This one's polychrome jasper here. I don't know, Jerome, can you show that to the camera a little bit more for me? So these polychrome jaspers in here. Now, jasper is made, it's a chalcedonian stone, so it's made from volcanic ash. Okay, so that's the mineral composite of this. So again, very earthy, grounding, pulling down, and could be a little bit different colors. So sometimes people might not want to just get the black stone, might want to add a little bit of other colors or vibrations in there. Absolutely. And so you can still get some of those beautiful protection qualities, wearing or holding or doing something that maybe isn't just if you're trying to match your outfits or do other things as well, right?
Absolutely. And also keep in mind that some stones may have a slightly different name depending on where it is that you are. This, which is called polychrome jasper or mookaite, is also known as Australian jasper. So sometimes if you ask for a particular stone and you think a place should have it and they don't, it's kind of good to be aware of what some of the other names are in case if they're aware of it by that name instead.
Yeah. And I mean, that's perfect. I mean, because literally, if it's a little bit more pastel like this, it's classified as mookaite. And if it's a little bit darker, it's classified as polychrome. And then, or like the, Australian.
It's kind of like,
it's the same. It's the same mineral, and it's beautiful coloration to it. It's just slightly is one more pastel and one's a little darker. But so I hope that you liked all of our protection stones and that you learned a lot. and a little bit more understanding of the differences. Because, you can use the stones for protection, but, it's always good to always cleanse yourself too, okay? This is up here. This is Palo Santo and sage. And we have a whole other video on this, on how to smudge. But know that sometimes the fastest way to get some protection and some clearing in your life is to clear your energy, whether you're using
clear
Palo
your energy,
Santo,
clear your space,
sage, So until next time, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any other ideas of other topics, other stones that you want us to cover, any categories, please leave it in the comments below.
Yes.
But thank you, and until next time.
Until next time. Thank you for being a part of this class. We hope to see you at the next one.